Hey guys, I'm back with another tutorial. This time I'm also going to include within the tutorial my concealer hacks for a flawless complexion. My tips for using concealer to perfect your makeup without it getting cakey, which is my least favorite thing in the world. So I wanted to do like a simple look while using a couple of new products. This is the deliciously rich Fluidline with a blending brush and a pencil brush. Just applied as like a base, or basically it ends up being like the full eyeshadow look. I absolutely love it on the lid. It's not that great as a fluid line, but as an eyeshadow, I mean, look at that. Onto eyebrows, and I'm using one of my top faves. It's the IT Cosmetics Slim Brow Pencils. These are just like the ABH ones, but cheaper and so awesome. Then I'm gonna add a glitter on the inner corner of the eye, but in order to make that pop, I'm gonna take my Aqua Eyes from Makeup Forever, and I'm gonna pat that in with my finger. It's kind of difficult to blend TBH, but I mean, it did the job. This is the Stardust by Makeup Store in Funky. It's this new like lilac diamond dust stuff that's just epic. And I'm just gonna do a winged liner. I feel like I never do winged liners anymore, like in tutorials, because I had felt like I overdid them, and now I just am in the mood to do them all the time. This is the Illamasqua Gel Liner. It's really awesome. It's on the little angled liner brush from Sigma. This is a really good angled liner brush, actually. It's awesome. And it's so tiny, and I can get a really sharp line. I'm going to give you some tips on how to get a sharp line even if you can't do it freehand, using my concealer hacks, which is coming right up. But I mean, I'm pretty good at winged liner, but I know that a lot of people find it quite difficult. This is Soft Pink Glitter Liner from Makeup Store. I felt like it just sat so well on top of that dust that I put in there. And then mascara, I can't say I rate this too much, but it's this MAC Studio Sculpt Lash. It's got a really like defining brush. As you can see, it's kind of like a comb. I feel like it just makes me look like I've got about 10 lashes, and I prefer more fluffy, voluminous lashes. This is my Dip Brow Pomade. I'm just using it to strengthen my brows a bit. I wanted a bit more of a dramatic look, since this is a party makeup look, by the way. Now I'm going to apply my Miami lashes from Lilly Lashes. I trimmed these a lot. I find that all her lashes need to be trimmed. They're absolutely huge for my eyes. But I am just loving her lashes lately. She just makes the most fluffy lashes. Moving on now to my concealer hacks. Really excited about this. They have a number of shades of the Maybelline Cover Stick Corrector Concealer, but I'm going to go with yellow, my go-to. For correcting dark circles. I use it to correct the darkness on my acne scarring. I have a very small amount of acne scarring. I find that when I get a pimple, it leaves a scar, and so I use this to kind of brighten up the area. So I put it on the spot directly. Oh, that's attractive. Someone screenshot that and tweet it to me immediately. This is a pencil brush, and what I do is I really lightly, like so lightly, like so lightly, tap that in over the offensive area. And this is the most perfect natural way to spot correct dark spots on my face. It really prevents me from having to cake on foundation. My next hack is featuring the new Better Skin Superstay by Maybelline. And I'm going to use this to help sharpen up those angles to keep my makeup looking a lot more professional. So I just applied some at the edge of my eyebrows, and then I'm using this like flat topped brush to make my eyebrows look super snatched. I'm coming from the bottom and straight from the top, and just that was so simple to clean up. I don't have to rely on getting it right freehand anymore. Now I'm also using it to highlight under the brow bone. I don't have to use a powdery eyeshadow, which looks kind of full on and a bit cakey if you layer on too many eyeshadows. And I haven't used any powder eyeshadows on my eyelid, so I'm gonna stick to using creams. That's why I like to use concealer as a multi-purpose product. So I do use it on the lid as well as a highlight here. It evens out the skin tone under my brow, but also helps it kind of, I don't know how to explain this, but sometimes the blending through my socket can get a bit too high up or a bit blotchy, and it really helps to even it out and makes my blending look so much more profesh. Damn YouTube, back at it again with the age rewind. This is such a popular concealer for under the eyes. It has a really good coverage. It's really brightening. It's super thin, so it's not really cakey under the eyes. I can't tell you how much I hate packing on product. This product is really thin and like a veil with really high coverage. It also blends like a dream and the applicator is super gentle under the eyes. I just blend that into the inner part of my eye. What do you call that? Like the edge of the nose / the inner part of the eye. The skin is so thin there that you can really see blue. So if yours is way darker than mine, I would put a bit of orange lipstick on the top before applying the concealer. But for me, this is more than enough. I'm just showing you again how to use the Better Skin concealer, just how to fix up the eyeliner. This one was a little bit thicker and I wanted to make it more pointy, just so I can stab the haters with it. But yeah, it's so easy like to quickly fix that up. Now, you might be wondering, how the hell can a concealer help me contour? Well, I like to use these contour sticks, and then when blending, sometimes the contour can get a bit crazy. It kind of goes everywhere, and I mean, it looks good, but when you want it to be contour, not like a bronzer effect, I like to use a concealer, and for this one I'm going to use the Fit Me concealer by Maybelline. You guys recommended this to me for the longest time. I have to say I do really love it. I like to just draw it along the edges to really confine the contour to exactly where I want it. So I just draw it on like that, kind of angle it down, and then I just buff it in with a little concealer buffing brush. And it just really keeps the contour to the contour zone without you having to be really meticulous when originally blending. Now, highlighting and strobing are, I guess, essentially the same thing, but for me, highlighting can also be like a flat light color and strobing is always with shimmer, so it's kind of like they kind of overlap. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I strobe using this Lumi product. It's the Dream Lumi Touch highlighter. It does have quite a bit of sheen in it, but to really strobe it out, I actually dot my It's like a liquid highlighter. I mean, you can use any brand, but this is the Becca one, and I dot it over the top so that the product will blend together on the skin. So I'm not layering too much product on top of one another. Like, I'm not using the Lumi and then putting powder on top. I'm blending the two products together, and the Lumi by nature is very luminescent, so it's gonna be like extra glowy, extra stroby, as you can see here. Back onto lips, well, not back onto lips, but moving on to lips. This is the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in Cheap Thrills. Oh my god, where have liquid lipsticks by ColourPop been my whole life? Look at this, it's so thin. Like, that's a good thing, right? Like, it feels like nothing on my lips, and I love this shade. Of course, I do this a lot in my tutorials, but in order to clean up a lip, to make it even, to make it pop, to highlight the edge of my lips, to make my lips look bigger, I use a concealer around the edge, and I use a flat brush to make the edges really crisp. I decided that after the lip was on, I really needed to add a bronzer. I used the Do the Hoola by Benefit to just bronze up my complexion a bit and patting it so that it doesn't move around the makeup that I did before. It's a slight difference, but I think it helped. As you can see, my skin does not look cakey. It looks super natural, very highlighted, quite contoured, super dewy, natural, but beautiful coverage. I hope you guys like this tutorial. Thanks to Maybelline for sponsoring my concealer hacks. Please leave a comment and subscribe. Bye guys.